Hello and welcome to Right Now at the Comedy Club. I am Dustin Kaufman. We're here at the Comedy Club of Kansas City, and right now I'm joined by the three finalists and the winners of our annual host battle competition here at the Comedy Club. The winner, the man, the host with the most, Pat McCarthy, directly to my left here, took first. Steve Dalton was in second. And third, but still here, the very funny Kyle Cumberland, which was good. On paper, first place gets cash and, paid work, and second place gets a cash prize. Third place gets a high five, which he got 2 of.
I did.
You got 2 of.
10. But
at the end of the thing, we always like to surprise the comics, usually with and just give everybody a host week here. It's our way of just opening the doors and really just helping build the community and just get people working and stuff like that. And this is congratulations to you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
So you guys, how long have you been doing comedy?
It'll be 3 years in January.
Okay.
It's October now, so whatever that is.
And you murdered it too.
Oh,
thanks, it was great. So you're 3 years in, Steve?
Yeah, off and on kind of for 4.
Okay. I've been seeing you more regularly the past year or so.
Yeah.
So you kind of dabbled in it here and there and then decided to kind of lock down and take it seriously?
Well, no, I was doing it and then I talk about it in I take care of my mom. She's 90. She fell like about a year and a half ago. And so we were in and out of rehabs and stuff, and I just was spending a lot of my time with her. So I kind of took a break to help my mom out.
Okay. Well, man, I'm glad you found your way back to the stage. I mean, you usually need help to find it, but I'm glad that you did find it. I'm glad you have that support system, too. Kyle, you're probably the youngest of the group. How long have you been doing comedy?
Over 2 years now. It'll be 2.5 end of the year.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
22. All right. I mean, you're like 40% of Steve here, I think.
Yeah, I know. I'm 54, so.
Yeah? All right. But I mean, you know what? I think you both and all of you kind of do a good job of taking yourself to the stage. Like what you're saying is believable to the audience. Nobody's like, you're able to see yourself for who you are and then share that with the audience. And so it gives that nice separation, which is always really good. What was it that led you guys to the stage? Like, what got you doing comedy? Kyle, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I started watching comedy probably like junior year of high school. So when I was 17, I really liked it. And then by kind of mid senior year, I was like, okay, I'm for sure going to do this. And it took me probably 2 years from that point until I got on stage. But yeah, I just always thought I was funny and then just loved comedy, and that was really it. So
17, I mean, that's late too, kind of, in my opinion, to get to like, oh, comedy's a thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe I just grew, I mean, man, I was listening to Carlin when I was like 8 and stuff. You know what I mean? Just very young, finding comedians. I remember Levin sneaking the Dice Clay videos for my dad and stuff like that. I mean, so like that. And I mean, comedy is always from a very young age. What got you to the stage, Steve?
Well, growing up, my family, we always joked. My parents used to have gag gift birthday parties with friends, and just people always, I was always the jokester, always joking around. I loved comedy. Like you just said, I used to sneak Richard Pryor, listening to Richard Pryor tapes and things like that. It's just so funny, and George Carlin, and then I just never thought I could do it. And then just over the years, as at work, people are always like, you should do stand up. You're so funny. Do stand up. And then when I turned 50, I was like, all right, I'm halfway through my life. How am I going to spend the other half? I was like, I got to do something fun. Do something fun. So I tried it out for on my 50th birthday.
Wow.
So on your 50th was your first time you on?
Yep.
That's awesome. You're talking about exploring different comedians and avenues of comedy as a kid and stuff. And man, I definitely remember you get into stand up, and then like SNL was like, he's still very popular, but and then you start looking for people from like this, and you're like, well, let me find their comedy specials, and you're like, oh, they don't have comedy specials. They're not a stand up comedian. They do this or comedy acting or sketch, and then and that was probably like mid-teens probably when I started exploring those avenues and realizing that there's different forms of comedy and different forms of comedians and avenues for comedy, and that it's just this whole world. So that was always a fun exploration. Do you ever see Michael Keaton's stand-up comedy?
I've seen clips of him. Yeah.
It's
wild looking. It's like, oh, that's Batman.
He is Batman. Right? I mean, I was totally taken off left field when I saw that clip. It wasn't the best, you know what I mean? But
he's got like the mullet though. He looks crazy.
Hell yeah, man. It was great. What led you to the stage?
I mean, I've been a fan of like my dad was a big comedy guy growing up. Not so much stand up, but like we had like a Three Stooges collection that we'd watch like on repeat, and then like a DVD of like Kevin James's special.
Yeah.
And so I grew up loving comedy, and I always loved stand up from like the time that whenever I first learned what it was. I don't know, but then it wasn't like till I was like a freshman or sophomore in college, and I think it was a John Mulaney special, and I was watching it for like the 17th time, and I was just like. It's like, oh, like, this is like a thing I could do if I wanted to. I didn't realize that, like, I didn't know what open mics were at the time, but I think, like, I kind of, like, listened to enough podcasts that I put together that, like, oh, anyone can try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
the doors are always open.
Exactly. So I was, like, 19, 20, and I realized I wanted to do it, but I was in school, I was an athlete, and I was, like, not good at either of those things. I was like, if I add a third thing, I'm going to fall apart.
Yeah.
So I waited till I graduated, and like 6 months after that, I came here for the first time.
Okay. So this was your first place.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
January 6th.
So after you graduated?
After I graduated in like May of 21.
Okay.
I came January of 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So as the victors of the host battle, have you guys let success go to your head yet? Are you guys fake flaunting it in front of your friends?
I definitely gave Connor Don a few words.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Did you? Good.
Jokingly, but
Good.
It's fun. He's a trooper.
He deserved him.
I was telling them when you were over there, I've been joking with friends when I call them. I'm like, yeah, you better answer the phone now, because when I become famous and things like that, and I don't take your calls anymore. I don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah. You mentioned Connor, and I'm not. It's interesting that the three people who did win all kind of like we didn't in the competition. We told them we're not going to deduct them for working dirty, but we will give them like a clean point, a point for not saying certain words that I'm not going to say here, or just talking about like different bodily fluids or produce, stuff like that, right? And so, I noticed that, Steve, you actually kind of danced that line,
yes,
but you did it really well. Like, because you have a bit, you mentioned your mom, you take care of your mom. Yeah. You have a bit where you as a blind man have to like wipe your mom, right? And clean her backside, right? And man, I'm like, he is doing an entire topic about what we said we would deduct from, but he did it. He never actually said it. He just let the audience mind paint the picture. And it came off in a very clever, but also real way. Like nobody's ever gonna like deduct points for sharing your life and being real, but you found a really good way to do that, especially in the competition. So, do you usually in the past, were you more explicit with that, putting did you edit that for the competition?
A little bit, not too much.
Right.
So when I first started, I was saying the F word a lot, and I was just, being a little more of that. I call it kind of shock comedy, I guess, when you do some of that stuff, and for just the shock. And then I had people record them, and then I was putting them out there, and I was sharing them with friends, and I started getting feedback from people going, why do you have to say the F word so much? It's like, it would probably so much better if you could just dial it back some. And I started thinking about it. I was like, I don't need to do that.
Right.
I can figure out how to do it without it. So I did work it that way. Yeah. So I've been trying to clean up stuff.
So it's not even just the F words too. Like taking, like when you're talking about wiping your mom, you don't have to say shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes it gross, but you're sharing a story from your life, and you're letting the audience paint that mental picture, and then you're able to get the funny across without the interference and static in between.
Yeah, you didn't even have to use like a version of shit. Like you didn't have to say what was being wiped.
Yeah.
You just kind of knew.
And then I talk about the front side. I said, luckily she could wipe her own front side, and I called it like the hoo-ha or whatever.
Right.
Like people do, it's like, because that's what they do with little kids, it's their hoo-ha.
Well,
it's like,
it's interesting too, though, because like I think people are automatically on your side when you go on stage, like especially, I mean, going up there blind, they want, and then, I mean, you come off as funny right away, right? Yeah. So, and they really want to be on your side. And I've seen a difference too from when you started here and coming more regularly to even like now. Like, it was a lot of kind of just more crude sex stuff like that. It comes off as like, oh, this guy's might be a little sleazy blind guy, but like you have adjusted your act and deliver it in a way where it doesn't come off, and that, because you're keeping them on your side. So whatever adjustments you've made, I do think taking some of that unnecessary filth out has helped you to be more creative in your delivery.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys traveling yet?
Yeah, I've been on the road a bit this summer. Haven't gone too far, but like Wichita, Topeka, Omaha. Kyle and I are going to Columbus with Matty Stancic here in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are getting out on the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
What kind of feedback are you getting?
Like from like comics and
audience.
It's doing fine. It depends on, there's a difference between performing here versus performing like St. Louis, Omaha. You're not really going to get much different crowds, but going to Osceola, Missouri, or where I was in Sedalia with Scarborough this past weekend. Was there a good turnout? Fine turnout, but it's like a 300-seat theater with like 40 people in it.
Oh yeah,
all spread out, no seating arrangements. So it was, not the worst show I've ever done, but definitely trying to get in and get out of that set.
Yeah, they say sometimes you got to leave home to come back and get work.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting when you start traveling at first and you start performing in different cities, different audiences, because even though it seems like the same demographic, they are different people. They are from a different city, and so to be able to relate, and that's where you get really good, is when you start getting out and just doing so many different audiences, different cities. Throw some like Chicago, getting the coasts out there as well. I mean, New York just makes you trim the fat real quick. It just makes you tight. There's people who can work in New York regularly and won't do well on the road, maybe because they only have New York chip material and stuff like that. And then there's people who murder on the road and go to New York and they're like, I can't. We got to change some shit. So just because it's so universal there, right? So getting out on the road is definitely really important. Have you guys had any like memorable negative, like what's the worst like road gig you guys have had so far?
For me, it's definitely that show I did in Osceola a couple months ago. It was like some Mexican restaurant in this town full of probably like 40 of like the drunkest rednecks you've ever seen in your life. Yeah. I was hosting, and before I even got on stage, 3 of the audience members got on stage and like did their own like minute of stand up, just impromptu. So I was hosting and also following like 3 like cousins that just crushed for the rest of their cousins.
Oh my God.
Then I had to get up there and talk about like ghosts for 4 minutes.
Woo.
They're like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, if that's the worst of it, that's not,
Oh no, it could be
right.
so much worse.
Right. We'll get there, but
Yeah.
but I'm glad it's going well. Kyle, any memorable?
I mean, I really haven't had any too bad experiences. I mean, I've only done the road twice.
Okay.
But I guess the worst one would be Tristan Newell and I did a show in Arkansas.
Oh.
And probably just 10 tickets sold. And the owner of the club had like died
Oh my God.
that Wednesday.
Oh my God. They just forgot to cancel the show.
Well, his partner was like, the show must go on. So she was
Oh
like
my
very
God.
adamant, like, we're doing the show. It's like kind of like punk rock, like I think in her mind. But like the host of the show like gets up there and he's like, I would like to start the show off with a moment of silence. And no one in the audience knows that the guy died. But now the start of the show is like, hey, a guy died. Please be sad about that for 2. And then we're going to try to go into jokes. And so it was a tough room.
Yeah.
So, but it was still fun.
And Steve, you're not getting quite on the road yet. You see, you got to find somebody with a driver's license and eyes. And,
I was like, Uber ride down to Sedalia or Arkansas. That'd kind of be expensive.
so, like, what you should try to do, and this could be probably fairly easy. I've noticed there are a lot of guys who are like doing a lot of road stuff.
Yeah.
And if they're doing shows like that, just see if you can jump on even for now as just go do guest spots just to get out for a night. But eventually, I mean, to go feature stuff like any of that stuff. So I mean. Yeah. But yeah, I do see a lot of people. I mean, that's as a booker, I try to say like I like to, and as a club owner, I like to invest in people who invest in themselves, and the comics who invest in themselves, such as like willing to go start leaving and putting the time and the miles and the money out and the effort and the social, all of it. So I mean, it shows. It comes back and it shows, it shows in the growth that you have as performers and stuff like that. So,
Absolutely.
You guys all from Kansas City originally?
Yep.
Kyle, what's your favorite Kansas City food? What are some of your favorite restaurants in Kansas City?
Probably just very standard Jack Stack brisket. What is it? What's the sandwich? Half turkey, half brisket. Hatfield. That's the one. And then Joe's is very good. Lee Summit has a burger restaurant. It's pretty good.
What's it called?
Pretty good. I'm trying to remember.
Lee Summit has a burger restaurant.
So
That's your review.
High Boy has a great burger. It is a fast food. Yeah, High Boy. They have a few. They're all in Independence, I think. There's one close to the stadium, really close to the stadiums too.
Yeah, there's a High Boy and there's a Big Boy down a little bit even farther.
See, I'm not a big fan of the Big Boy. I know, hey, whatever. Love High Boy. I mean, High Boy is almost as good as the Comedy Club burger here. Probably my second favorite burger in the city.
I will say that my brother and my brother and his wife came and my uncle and they ate both times, they came both shows.
Yeah.
And they all said that the food was good.
Thank you.
They liked the burgers and my brother liked the cheese curds. He was like, "Oh, the cheese curds are good."
Just make sure you're talking into the mic a little bit.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah. My family liked the food at the club.
Thank you.
Couple shows.
Okay, thank you. I like how you just went straight to barbecue too.
Yeah.
I do like Joe's a lot. Jack Stacks to me is great environment. The sides are amazing. Yeah. There's a couple dishes that are great. I do like their lamb ribs actually. And then to me it's like Joe's and Gates, and they're just different. Like to me, Gates, that sauce is like an experience, man. It's just like it's got that pepper kick or whatever it is. It's I almost get the pasta salad with it just to mellow out the sauce. And their turkey is probably the best smoked turkey I've ever had in my life at Gates. But I don't know which one. It's equal because they're different moods, What are some of your favorite Kansas City foods or restaurants, Steve?
Well, I'm a big boy, so I like meat and potatoes. So I like going, if I splurge, I like going to get a good steak at Hereford House.
Hereford House?
Yeah, the Hereford House steak.
Okay. Are they local? No?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Are they?
There's one there, and there's one in. I think there's one downtown, and then there's one in Independence.
Boy, they got in a lot of trouble recently. So they had a cook do something. You
Oh, yeah, the
heard
one
about
downtown.
this?
Yeah, the
no,
one
was
downtown
it
or whatever.
downtown? Or I think that was in Leawood, wasn't it?
Or was it?
I think it was Leawood.
I think it was Leawood. What
Yeah.
happened? It was.
What was the
Didn't he,
dude?
I think
he
it-
rubbed some meat on his junk. I think.
Yo,
Was it that or was it something with
is it meat?
feet? I don't.
I thought it was urine.
It's something. I think he had something we told comics not to talk
Yeah.
about in the host battle. One of those things ended up he was putting on the food, and it was not.
Yeah, he definitely got a point deducted.
Hereford House is good. I do like them. It's when the prime rib is good, it's really good. They're one of the only places that I like the seasoning they put on the sear there, on the prime with the prime rib. I do like that. It has a flavor to it, a rub or something like that, which goes a long way. And their stuffed mushrooms are great. My grandma liked their stuffed mushrooms a lot there too, so we'll get those as well. What about you?
I mean, I grew up 5 minutes from the Joe's in Olathe, so I'm a big Joe's guy. They got great burn ends, and then I don't know why the only thing I could think of. It's a place that isn't around anymore, but the Mockingbird Lounge, which used to have an open mic, they had for brunch they had biscuits and gravy, but instead of sausage gravy, it was chorizo gravy.
Oh,
And that shit was so good.
you know who has a good buffet? I mean, I know there's places, but I'll go to that Pinstripe sometimes.
Is it the bowling place?
It's the bowling place,
Really?
dude. But their buffet is on point for me. Anyways, they have lox and bagels and cream, and shrimp and caprese. So it really gets that Jew coming out of me. I can get bagels and lox and macaroni and cheese. Good Sunday. And it's not crazy expensive either,
There's a place right next to there. The Brass Onion or something like that. They got some good stuff too. I think I had some jambalaya there one time. That was awesome.
Brass Onion.
Yeah.
Is that
Are there
is that
multiple pinstripes? I'm thinking of the pinstripes on.
Prairie Fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the Brass Onion or the Bronze Onion or something. It's right next to pinstripes.
Maybe I ate there
You may have.
once. I went somewhere sometime out there. I don't remember where I went.
My dad
Kiss
always
bar
wants
still
to go
out
there.
Is the Kiss bar still there?
I don't know.
They used to have a
I think it
Kiss
is.
bar, yeah.
I think so
Like
because
a
it's on the
Kiss
very
themed
end.
bar?
Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley own it.
Yeah.
I want to say last
like
time
Kiss
I
bar.
was there, it was still there. Yeah.
Well, welcome to our new show, What's Going On, Kansas City. Hosted right here at the Comedy Club of Kansas City
Yeah, now we're all hungry.
with four guys from Kansas City. Very good. Yeah, man. Pat, did I hear you say that you have lost weight recently? You've been on a health.
I have. I've lost 20, 25 pounds, something like that.
How long have you been actively trying to lose weight?
Since July or so.
Okay, so that's great.
Oh, thank you.
That's really good. Since July.
Yeah, I think that's when I started getting back in the gym.
So what? Is it working out? Did you change your diet? What have you been doing to lose weight?
I changed my diet somewhat. Like I used to.
And what are your goals? Do you have weight goals?
I just wanted to get under 200 pounds. I started at 230, 233 ish.
I just want to get closer to 200.
Me too. I'm with you on that.
But I have been actively doing it as well. So I'm interested in your comment and what you say.
I mean, virtually just cutting out sugar. I mean, I have a little bit of sugar here and there. I have an apple every morning for breakfast, and then for lunch, I try to stick to a wrap or soup. And then I still have fast food for dinner every night, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's kind of tough not to. I mean,
But you're working
I'm
out.
eating after open mics and shows and stuff like
Late at
that.
night.
So it's tough not to.
So I've really changed what I've eaten late at night too. For a while, I was just doing yogurt and chia seeds with honey and just granola as a late night snack, or apples and honey. Just trying to real, instead of sitting there and eating nachos and stuff like that. Like, dude, like last night I went home when I got home and it was late. It was like 3:30 and I was kicking myself a little bit because I had like tzatziki in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Like this cucumber sauce, dude. You just ate yogurt like with feta. It's fine. I think I just started making subtle changes to where like I didn't want to go on a diet, right? I've done, and it's not that I didn't want to lose weight. I've done diets. You lose a little weight and then you just gain it all back when you stop the diet, right? And so, I lost a lot with a low carb 10 years ago, and after that, I probably put on the most weight I've ever,
Right.
And so like I just started making small changes to my diet, like as far as even soda, water, stuff like that, less soda, more water, and just little things that help take the initial. But lately, just eating cleaner, better, eating and trying to sleep more, because I've always had a mess.
Sleep is huge.
Sleep, and you never realize how much of a factor sleep goes into burning fat. Like, somebody said to me, they said recently, it's like the gym is for building muscle and toning. Burning fat is eating cleaner and sleeping.
Yeah.
And I think that thought kind of detoured me and kept pushing me out of the gym for a long time, because you're like just in there doing this, that, you don't even know what you're doing, but you're like there and you're like, I'm not really loose, fuck this. But just having that understanding, I'm probably down 30 total.
Wow.
So that's good. Yeah. You probably can eat whatever you want and never gain a pound at 22. And I probably hate you just that much for that.
Yeah.
Do you eat horribly, or do you actually?
I eat pretty good. I would say I probably eat closer to 3,000 calories a day, and I would say probably 2,000 of that is
So
pretty
you eat
healthy.
good enough where you know how many calories you're. Like,
Yeah,
you
I was
have an
gonna say.
idea. You
pulling
know
out
what
the
you're
numbers?
eating.
I ballpark it. Well, I work most days 7 to 3,
Okay.
and I won't eat until after I get off work.
Like protein shakes or anything to start the day.
Nothing to start the day.
Okay.
And so you're kind of starting the day like
on a fast.
on a fast, so you can eat more calories. So, but I try to keep it. I'll come home. I'll do a protein shake, protein bar. I have like a chicken meal. It's basically just a Chipotle bowl. And then like before I go out to Mike's, I'll like make PB&J, get some crackers, and so. But
So
also
you
in
eat
between
before
there,
you go out, so you're not hungry when you go out,
Yeah.
so you don't start eating crap.
exactly.
Yeah, I've been trying that as
That's
well.
what I need to start doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That is interesting. Yeah, that's good. Well, congratulations on your weight loss too.
Oh, thank you. Same to you.
So what do you guys want to talk about? No. No, we got it. So this just happened. We just finished the tournament just a couple days ago. So I'm glad we could get this in. You guys have anything coming up that you want to promote, or tell them how to find you on your socials?
When does this come out?
Well, probably in a week or so. We are, just getting started here, but we signed with a nice post-production company. They're going to be on like a 72-hour turnaround. So we're hoping to have like weekly. We gave them last week's episode with Craig Conant and stuff like that.
Oh, sweet.
Craig Conant. We're doing Greg tonight as well. So they said, hey, why don't you get a couple in the bank before you start releasing? And so between these two, these will be in the bank, and we just keep recording every week. Yeah, and maybe start doing some other shows from up here as well, and just different things. So
Yeah, might as well.
I'm very
Got the
excited.
space.
It's just I really enjoy the process and enjoy doing this, but it's also, honestly, to be transparent, it's part of our new marketing strategy for the comedy club. I mean, like, we canceled all of our television commercials, and
Really?
we have a new in-house marketing team with local people. We felt like our voice was being lost a little bit.
Yeah.
So we have a group. Every position is just booked for we feel the best person for that exact position. We went to Upwork to find and used filters to find like a freelance social media ad manager. And I found filters to find a local person so we could actually interview them. And that's not an easy, you have to like, look,
Oh yeah, a lot of steps there.
there's a lot of, you have to go by state and then go by this. And so it was, but man, we interviewed a couple of people. We got really lucky. I think our marketing team on that side, as far as social media ads, is the best it's ever been. And it's brand new team. But the other side is the content, and I really think the content creation is a direction that every comedy club should be going, because
100%.
that's clearly a direction that the industry has gone.
Right.
You know, with social media, radio doesn't sell tickets, television's not selling tickets, like everything is so crazy. So what's really, when you stop and look what's driving the industry, it's online content, it's podcasts, it's crowd work videos. You know, we did the
content is like how like individual comics get people to buy more tickets to their shows.
Right.
Like, why wouldn't that be the same for individual comedy clubs to get people to come out to those?
Well, and that's where it really comes down to. It's the industry has changed so much to the point where it's not, the industry's not, you don't have to sit and wait to get on the Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The audience is right there, and you don't have to rent a studio for a television network. You don't have to, take a public access channel that nobody's going to see because that's the only thing available. I mean, so it which is wonderful because on one side of it, the comics really and the people are in really control of the industry. It's more of a comic-led industry than it has been in the past. Yep. Especially when you have the podcast introducing comics to everybody. But yeah, you have the ability to create your own audience. How do you approach that as you guys are all, Sir Steve, you guys are all pretty young. You're pretty old, Steve. I just want to say. But I mean, how are you approaching the social media side of the industry?
I haven't been too involved up until recently. I started posting more and more clips. Okay. Just trying to like film more, because I always get audio stuff, but just trying to film more things and
sets and stuff.
Yeah, sets. And just trying to film sets and stuff. I haven't done any, like sketch stuff. But I'm not opposed to it. It's just not something that's.
Joe Nunnick is killing it with that. By the way,
awesome. Yeah. I know people that from outside of comedy that are like, have you seen this guy's stuff? And it's like, I'm in a fantasy football league with that guy.
Joe's a KC native, killing it out in New York right now. He's got almost 40,000 followers in a short time too, with a lot of really great sketches that are, a lot of them have gone viral. Check him out at Nunningram, Joe Nunnick. I think he won our very first host battle, actually. So
no way.
Yeah.
I know. So, look at your future, Pat.
Yeah. But
I'd put that pressure on you. I went over here, guys, like, we don't have that pressure now.
Yeah, what's your third winner doing?
He's bartending.
But yeah, so like this stuff is to us it's a better direction, and we just wanted to repurpose our marketing and put it in a new direction. I think stuff like this is way more viable than from just and fun. It's a way I think that we can help introduce comics, like stuff like this, introduce you guys to the city a little more, and just get that online fan engagement. Especially we're getting our headliners every weekend and stuff like that. Right. So yeah, it's a lot. And yeah, congratulations again, Pat, on taking first place.
Thank you very much.
And guys, don't feel bad that he took first place. In 1976, Robin Williams took second, actually, in the San Francisco comedy competition. You know who took first?
Pat McCarthy.
Might as well have been, because nobody knows who that guy is right there, buddy. All right, coming up, let's see if this comes out in the next week or two. We got a lot of great shows here at the Comedy Club. Ron Funches Thanksgiving weekend. Friday, Saturday, we got Doug Benson, Corey B coming up, Sam J in December. New Year's Eve at the Comedy Club, we have the Pete Fucanaro Jazz Trio and Eleanor Kerrigan as well.
Hilarious.
The hilarious Eleanor Kerrigan. So that's 2 shows. Get your tickets for New Year's Eve. They are now on sale. Felipe Esparza is on sale. Kevin Nealon. All that at the Comedy Club. KC.com. Follow us online at the Comedy Club KC all across the board. We keep it simple. Where is it? The Comedy Club KC. Pat, what's your Instagram?
P. McCarthy Comedy.
P. McCarthy. Steve?
I have a YouTube, Steve Dalton on YouTube if you want to watch some of my
That's
videos.
a YouTube. Do you have a fan? Steve Dalton Comedy on YouTube?
It's Steve Dalton, yeah. It's like
All right, get an Instagram. And
Yes, I know.
hey, dude, you're a winner now. So
I know. People have been telling me I need to start doing more social
Kyle,
media
this
stuff.
automatically bumps you to second place.
Damn it. I already spent the money.
Where's
man.
the check? Oh, forget about it.
Aside from the check.
I'll take another high five.
Steve, you can, until you get an Instagram page, you can guest spot for the week Kyle hosts. Get it, man. You would kill it. People want to watch a blind guy do comedy. Oh my God.
I'm actually working. I actually am getting ready. I'm working with somebody on. We're trying to do a sketch comedy like podcast channel. It's gonna. We're gonna call it The Ventures of Blind Steve.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a bunch of skits about, getting into trouble with me.
Okay.
Like one little skit we came up. We haven't filmed it yet, but I was like, where I'm trying to think I have superpowers like Daredevil. And I have a sidekick who's
So you're gonna
stoned
make
all the
like
time.
just small sketch reels and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like shorts.
Yeah,
Do your
yeah.
30 to 90-second sketches.
Or some maybe a little longer, some shorter, some longer.
Yeah.
And go do some, but like my
The audience likes it short, Steve.
Yeah, I know,
Unlike
short and quick. I know they're short
I'm not-
attention span.
even though that's not what you've heard your entire life, but the audience they do like it. In that department, reels are it's okay.
Get in.
Stuff like that.
Great.
Working on that.
And what was yours again?
At Kyle Cumberland _ comedy.
Underscore is last.
Underscore is last.
Look at you getting creative with it. Nobody ends with.
No one's doing
You
that.
could have done Kyle underscore
No one's doing what I'm
Cumberland,
doing.
but you're like Kyle Cumberland underscore. Have you thought about replacing underscore with comedy? Maybe.
Dude, I had not thought about it until Pat's been on this. Like he's been thinking about changing the Instagram handle. So
recently changed it.
whenever he changed it, I'm like, okay, I got to start.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna change it again because I don't love P. McCarthy comedy. I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Pat McComedy. I think.
Yeah, Pat McComedy.
Pat McComedy.
I like it.
I'm a big fan.
I
of it,
love
too.
Pat
Half of-
McComedy. Do
half
it right
of the
now.
people-
Get on there and change it.
Come on,
Pull
let's
out
do
your
it.
phone.
All right, guys, go check out Pat McComedy.
Whoa!
I mean,
Don't
let's
say
see,
we didn't do
let's see
anything
if it's
this time.
available first. Pat
that's a good
McComedy. Yeah, Steve, create an Instagram right now. Get on your phone.
The
I saw-
Adventures of Blind
Hey, dude,
Steve,
I
great
saw
name.
you swiping on your phone.
No,
by the
I
way,
had the
Like-
voiceover. I do I have a voiceover thing where it talks to me what's on the screen.
oh, that's nice. Like a her thing, like a digital girlfriend.
Yeah, it's my Siri. Kind of. See, I like. I
Hi,
know-
Steve. How are
Yeah.
you today? Sierra, love that.
That's what it is.
All right, check out
See,
Pat
I-
McComedy.
Is it it? MC?
Yeah,
Oh,
MCC?
That's what-
MCC.
All right. Yeah.
Pat McComedy.
Pat McComedy.
Username Pat McComedy. That's great.
That's a great
All right.
name.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've been debating.
Hey, you know
going
what?
to that
Will you
for a
do
few
me
weeks
one
now.
favor?
What's up?
Just will it capitalize the P and the M and the second C? It'll just look more catchy if you can.
Yeah, can you
You think so?
capitalize an
Yes.
Instagram at handles?
Yeah, dude. If you can't, I think
I
you.
don't know if you can.
I don't like the way the capital letters in the handles look.
Fine. Don't be catchy.
Hey,
Are you
join
not
our 1,000
verified yet,
followers.
Pat McComedy, with a handle like that? How are you not verified? Could you get on there and get
My
verified?
1,100 followers are pissed about this too.
1,100. Nice. Well, awesome. And you can see all of them with a week. They're all going to be hosting a week here at the Comedy Club too. So keep your eye out. We will we'll let you know when we book them. We'll let you know exactly what weeks they'll be working, so you can come see them. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Congratulations. Thank you for working hard and making representing Kansas City well in this comedy community as well. I mean, you guys are, house talent. We've watched you guys grow, since you started, and I'm really, I'm really happy and proud of you guys for getting to where you're at, and hopefully this is just the start for at least two of you who can see. So.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm so old, man. I might be dead next week. I don't know.
Hey, man, that'd be better than having a blind guy host a show. I mean, not dead.
Yeah.
Maybe just like temporarily brain dead for a weekend.
Maybe
you just
that
get,
happens. I've heard.
Do you just get locked in your house sometimes? Perhaps like I can't figure out how to get out of my house tonight.
Only when people come over and move stuff around. God damn it.
All right.
Range my house.
Yeah, we'll get you guys back on sometime. We like to get the working comics, like usually the headliner, feature, and MC. I like if I have my drillers and it goes well, that's so we'll definitely have you guys back up here again sometime soon. So
Yeah, appreciate you having us.
absolutely, guys. Thanks for being here. Check us out, thecomedyclubkc.com. Come out, see a show. We'll see you soon. Bye.